Ghosts.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
They're real.
You do?
They're mean.
You have?
They're here.
We got one!
Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost?
They catch the ghost that won't stay dead. They're armed. They're dangerous.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
All right, that's bad. Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
They're professionals.
Oh, I'm the chairman of the largest paranormal removal company in America.
You see it?
They're all that stands between you and the end of the world.
This city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the sky. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Your girlfriend lives in the corner penthouse of Spook Central.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question? Got your stick? Hold! Heat him up! Smoke it! Make him hard! Ready!
Ghostbusters. Starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis. Ghostbusters.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.
Hey YouTubers, Hankster here, and welcome to another classic movie review. And being it is still October, we're going to go into our second horror slash, well, this time of course it's a comedy, that's celebrating a 30th anniversary this year. That's none other than Ghostbusters, the movie series originally starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, the now late Harold Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, Ernie Hudson, and Rick Moranis. Now, of course, this came out, as I said, 30 years ago in 1984, and even though back then they didn't have the high-tech gadgetry of battery computers in the sense of special effects, the special effects they used was fantastic, I gotta say. And I'll probably get into that shortly. Now, of course, this is basically an origin story about three, college-level scientists who, just at the cusp of discovering a way to capture pesky ghosts that would haunt your house, they are basically kicked off campus by the hierarchy of the campus and forced to find new roles for themselves. Of course, Peter Venkman, the leader of the group, decides to form them into their own business, called Ghostbusters. And of course, basically, most of the movie deals with them how they, get everything together, how they Ecto-1, their hearse-looking vehicle, gets built up, how they get a hold of the famous firehouse, and of course, their first capture of course, the now popular Ghost Slimer. Of course, Sigourney Weaver is sort of a more humorous situation, close to what she was in the original Aliens. This is one of her first comedies, by the way. She, of course, would star in numerous others after this, including, of course, Ghostbusters 2 5 years later. Played Dana Barrett, who, of course, catches the eye of Peter Venkman, who, of course, is a ladies' man, a smooth talker. The more outgoing member of the group, as opposed to, Ray Stantz, who's sort of more the innocent and the naive, even though he's very open-minded. And, of course, Egon, the big nerd of the group trio. basically, she, of course, not only has problems with ghosts in her apartment, but also sort of an over-infatuated across the hall neighbor, played by Rick Moranis, as well. But as I said, she gets her apartment gets infiltrated by a ghost, especially a being known as Zool, which takes the form of a grotesque terror dog. And of course, one of the minions of the demigod known as Gozer. And just as the Ghostbusters is figuring out what is going on, Gozer decides to pull into our realm and basically take it over and destroy everything, along with not just Zool, but also Vince Clortho, who with Zool possesses both Dana and Rick Moranis' character, Louis Tully, a sort of a geeky tax advisor slash money management kind of guy, and use them to open the portal to our dimension right after, of course, the Ghostbusters' own active containment unit had been breached by a overzealous environmentalist wacko guy in the government. Of course, as you know, the Ghostbusters saved the day by basically using a humorous term called crossing the streams, which of course is referring to their unique weaponry, which shoots out pinpoint laser-like weapon, light to capture ghosts. And of course, yeah, that does refer, does make you think about pissing as well. But all in all, this basically would launch a very popular franchise, not just a sequel 5 years later, but of course a very hit animated series, which was basically steeped in controversy when it first came out. We'll get into that when we get into the animated series review. Of course, another animated series came out in the late 1990s, which didn't last as long, but we'll still talk about that as well. And numerous video games, which will also include the last one that came out a couple years ago from the previous generation of game systems, which basically was a big reunion for all cast members of the original Ghostbusters movie. But as I said, I mean, this is basically a great movie. Even though there's no actual CGI, this is basically original models and puppetry and lighting and all that kind of stuff. But type of special effects, there was hardly any actual computers used for the effects of this movie, and all, but. I mean, it still looks as good, compared to other movies that have been recently coming out, and kind of makes you wonder whenever they do come out with a third Ghostbusters movie reboot or third installment, how it will compare with our current special effects technology to be used in that near future. Of course, D-Generation Hanks is going to have some words to say about the possible rebooting of Ghostbusters, as expressed by Bill Murray a few weeks ago. But this is just the first of a few reviews I'm going to be doing involving Ghostbusters. Of course, next review will be the first Ghostbusters animated series, and of course, not just the series itself, but also the controversy that it got involved with another a popular animated company of the early 1980s, and what they had to do to survive that first hurdle. But I hope you enjoyed this little quick review of the original Ghostbusters celebrating its 30th anniversary. Ironically enough, the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, of course, came out 5 years later. So not only is the first one celebrating 30 years, the second one is celebrating 25 years. So we'll be focusing on that in a future review, probably the next Ghostbuster video review after the one following this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned here for more reviews and whatnot here on the Multiverse. See ya.